So I worked a little bit more on this drawing to speed it up, and you can see I have all my shadow edges figured out. This is the one we did together. Then I went over here on the arm and I mapped this out. So the arm is a little bit more of a tricky place because you can go different ways. The reason why I chose the pattern that I have is because I want to make it characteristic yet simple. So in order for it to be characteristic, we want those shadows like this, to describe the forms. Like this little shadow segment helps describe this rounded sphere-like top. This little shadow helps describe part of the tricep. This shadow segment helps describe the bicep. And then here we go back in and down for what's called the ridge muscle group. So if we make it too simplistic, if we just go from here to here, we lose a little bit of the characteristic form of the arm. But I'm also not going so detailed where I go and have all these little itty bitty variations of the edge. So simple yet characteristic is what you're shooting for. So at this stage I have another shadow pattern left on the leg, so I'm going to fill that in. So I'm squinting and I'm zooming out. I'm asking myself, what is left when I do that? What kind of shapes do I see? And there are multiple possible answers, so there's not just like one pattern that's ordained. So I think I'm actually going to fairly simple. I'm going to round this out over here. Oh no. Let's just go with it like this. Okay, so now next I want to address the quality of the edges. So if you remember, the quality of the edges depends on what kind of edge it is. Is it a form edge or is it a cast edge? Form ranges from more abrupt to soft, and cast is always relatively crisp. So let's begin over here. So I haven't shaded anything in yet, notice that. I just have a pattern that's completely enclosed. One side, and then the complete other sides. I kind of forgot. This cast shadow segment here. So now I have this edge. Here I have the edge of the body being the edge of the other edge of this pattern. So I have both sides, top and bottom of this shape. So now I'm going down top to bottom thinking about, okay, this here is a form shadow edge. It's the chest turning away to become the side of the body. This is a form shadow edge. I'm using the side of my pencil, holding it like a feather, going up and down, softening this edge. And this works best if your paper is padded. Like, see, I have a whole pad of paper. It's not just a single sheet against hard wood. It's soft, and my pencil is perfectly cone-like. Okay, so form shadow edges here. Then I have a segment of just the edge of the body part. Then I have cast shadows. I'm getting on the tip of my pencil here, trying to not create an outline, just a crisp edge. And then here, this cast shadow is now morphing with the form shadow of the rib cage. And then as the rib cage is ending, I get into those oblique muscles. And every time a form ends, like the oblique muscle ending here and the glute beginning, the direction of the edge changes. Here I now have a portion of cast shadow. Here I have form shadow again, maintaining the direction changes. This little segment in here. Okay, then here I have cast shadow from the tip. Okay, so then last bit of this shadow shape is along this arm here. If you can see that on her. This is the torso casting an edge onto the arm. So in my drawing, I need to make sure that this reads as what it is. And when I have this, then I allow myself to shade in the pattern in a no-tan manner. And I shade from the crisper edge toward the softer edge, because that doesn't matter if that becomes fuzzier. But we want to maintain our crisp edges clean. Or sharp, or whatever you prefer. Here I'm shading form shadow and cast shadow at the same time. It unifies the drawing. I know there's a little light shape in there that I can erase out later, but for now. So here it falls, the shadow falls over the hand. This is all in shadow. Okay, let's do some more edge quality. So on this arm, this is a form shadow edge. So I'm using the side of my pencil, rubbing it up and down, or left to right rather, until it starts to soften. They're all form shadows. This could be arguably seen more as a cast shadow edge. This is definitely soft. Maintaining the direction changes. Remember the edge of your pattern, that's the important part. Not just in terms of the quality of the edge, but also the directions of those edges. And then I mask that in. Again, shading those two at the same time. Okay, so and then once you have your shadow patterns, let me do the legs real quick. Is there something cool happening there? I'm just going to treat this all as shadow now. Crisp, soft, soft, soft. I'm going to take this all the way around like I wanted to do earlier and make all of this shadow. Even though it's very glowy and light appearing, if I kind of squint crazy hard, it wants to group with the rest of the shadow there. So if I let my eye just rest on the thigh, yes, I see all kinds of variation in there. But if I squint hard and zoom out to see the whole body, it starts to group together as a shadow. Okay, so what I wanted to get at is, notice how here now I have this shadow edge create the edge of the body here. So I don't need an outline there to tell me where the thigh ends and the belly begins. I can just let the shapes do that heavy lifting for me. And I'm erasing out any of the preparatory search marks. Cleaning up the outer edges. So here I can take this away now. So notice what happens. I erased out the outline for the thigh, but my brain still reads this as a thigh because I have this portion of the thigh shape and this portion of the calf shape. Those two together, my brain infers this line now. So patterns are really, really powerful in describing form for us, especially when you then model and pay attention to the quality of the edges as well. So I hope this was useful.